Welcome back to Established African. This is Wellness Mondays. This is our last Wellness Mondays cast, and I'll be taking you through my journey in 2021 and 2020. Damn, my mind is already on 2021. Whatever that we have gone through this year, you know. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Roasted Truth Cafe. They're the reason as to why you're seeing the beautiful food on the table and drinks that we are having as we enjoy this place in Ikigai. Otherwise, you know, on the last cast, you highlighted a few things that were really, really dope, and some were really, really key lessons for us to understand, and that's really dope. I think that's the agenda of Wellness Mondays.
Yeah, it was a fitting season finale topic. Themes of change, you know.
Themes of change.
Yeah.
Man, themes of change. Speak about themes of change. Let me take you down the road of 2020 for me. I think this year started very well. I started with working towards an album launch. An EP launch actually that I was doing for Tanasha. One of my former artists that I used to manage. And we had a very good time.
Yeah, I saw the promo material. It was fantastic.
This was the only EP launch that was, I can say luxury done, not to the level of upper luxury, but just classy, in a classy
just right,
done.
A touch of everything, really.
And all our sponsors were SMEs. I was actually discussing this stuff with some artists yesterday at an award ceremony, and I was telling them that you don't need blue chip companies to enhance your career. All you need is the roasted truth cafes.
Yeah, the small scale,
the small
artists and small businesses.
That's what you need.
We got it in Nairobi. We got it.
For the cafe, you wouldn't be seated here.
It's all about supporting your local businesses and truly helping them come up from underneath, because the talent is here. We got it, Nairobi. We've always got it. You
already know.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful run. We were able to launch the EP, and we got a good reception.
I loved her stylist for her music videos. She looked fantastic.
She is very, very, very.
Who did the one with the tins on the hair, the like Coca-Cola canned hairstyle?
I mean, that's Ruth actually. Ruth.
Well, Ruth the hairstylist. I think I've worked with her once on a True Love shoot, if I'm not wrong.
The makeup was being done by a lady known as Manal. So it was just a whole lot of creative
contribution.
Everybody was just chipping in.
That's a creative process. Every small intricate detail matters.
And it was a really, really good time. But
like all good things in life.
Like all good things in life, everything has to come to an end.
Yeah, some chapters.
So when we started the EP, I didn't expect a pandemic to roll on us.
That must have been challenging as an artist as well.
Everything changed after that. After the pandemic came into the picture, that's when we learned that, oh man.
Gosh, movie premieres are being postponed, albums, concerts, festivals. So much money was lost.
This
so
is
much
just
money.
Like crazy. And I'm looking at this scenario like before the pandemic, we just came from Tanzania, and the lady of course, Tanasha's breakup with Diamond is there on the and it's really bad, So I was just feeling like the world
having a public audience during such a personal time can be difficult.
I was just feeling like the world was pushing
I can only imagine,
man. Like after that, and it was a very depressing period for me, especially because after she left the man, for me, all eyes are on her. Yes, but when all eyes are on her, they're on me, on the fact that how does she bounce back her career?
So the manager has to damage control and help her rise up from the proverbial ashes, to say the least.
That's a case study that I put it down when I was writing my case studies of the year, because I like using my case studies whenever I'm pitching.
Yes.
So I always write my case studies and everything that I go through.
So this happened to be a real life case study for you.
Exactly. And I was like, how do you bounce back a career that was put on a nice pedestal?
That was unfortunately anchored to another internationally.
Yes, to
an international scaled artist.
You're on your own, and you gotta justify it to the people, and you gotta prove to the people that you can really do this.
Yeah. Let us know. I don't know how to do that.
It was really difficult, man. Like, it was really difficult. It wasn't easy, but through God's grace, I was able to get a good PR element from Carol Mandy, who we had on our show for Commercial Fridays. We did a really, really dope interview that everybody,
and she's the boss. She's the real deal.
So Carol, with the languages and the interviews and how she was exchanging the questions, it made the public look at her and pursue her as an artist, not just as there was this perception of her as a slave queen, you know what I mean? And it was just bothering us as a team, like, damn, we need to get credibility
where
that you're
it's
an
due.
Artist, you know what I mean?
But unfortunately, that's a side effect of being a woman in this industry. People will tarnish you for the most absurd things, as opposed to a man doing the same things, and he'll be praised for it. So
it wasn't easy, and
kudos to you and the team, and to the lady herself. You guys, you bounced back. You did a great job.
And I did a great job. Give a big shout out to Jamal Gaddafi. He was able to, we were stuck.
You were at a still period.
My agenda was where we're gonna move forward after this. But the Carol Mandy interview really exposed Tanasha to a point whereby key interest parties.
Oh, when she was featured on as the cover girl.
As the cover girl, and also the digital interview.
And she got to speak her truth.
She spoke her truth
in her own space without anyone manipulating anything.
Exactly.
Because blogs do that a lot.
Exactly. And key party interests from the coast region especially showed interest to working with her and endorsing her. And
brilliant. So he managed to turn it all around.
Yeah, Jamal was the go-to person from these Don Dadas. You know what I mean? They hit up, they called him, and he called me through God's grace. And we were just praying. Jamal would have been selfish. He would have decided not to call me, but he decided, let me just call you and give you this opportunity, guys. You know what I mean? Wow. And that's how he ended up being part of the team, because it was a really, really dope transitioning from whereby you have a man and his brand affinity is really big, and every time you drop an album or a song, his support is very effective on your songs, but this guy is no longer in the picture, so now you're Dolo, you have to justify Dolo. Like, how you gonna do this by yourself?
And it's funny that you should say this, because me as a consumer, I never look at the people in the front line, such as Castro and her current manager, or even any other A-list celebrity, and what they must go through. All we're reading about is blogs and gossip and everything that's already been manipulated by the media. So it's very interesting to see this from your point of view. So shout outs to everybody who made that happen, and that was a great win for you guys.
It was a great win, but let me tell you one thing: the mental health
aspects of
it, like, I really suffered. I couldn't stand watching Tanasha cry, or all the way, like, on the plane while she's here. Like, it's really deep. Like, I didn't understand. You're not a woman until you're a woman to understand that pain. I think that's how I can put it. I saw the pain in her eyes and the agony of the whole of this frustration, and the way she wanted things to work out, but they couldn't work out. And the fact that we were able to bounce back from that, it was a mental health process that I needed to recover faster than her, because I was the business person. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because when your business partner is hurt, business is doomed to fail.
I mean, that's true. A lot of celebrities always take healthy social media breaks. I myself am taking a current social media hiatus, aside from work like this, of course. And it really impacts your mental health, because I remember when I did an interview and I was trolled for something I didn't say, I was misquoted. And this was something so small scale, so I can imagine somebody on a wider scale just receiving so much hate and misjudgment for people that she barely knows or he barely knows, or just the celebrities in general, and how they need so much solid support to constantly just keep them afloat. If you are not enough, you need other people to remind you sometimes that you are enough, because you're only human, and people do need people. People do need people
to recover. So at the end of the day, we left that situation. At least now we have a bounce back song. I was able to, through a band member who I knew, introduced me to Ben Soul.
All right.
That's how I ended up meeting
Shout out Soul Generation.
Yeah. That's how I ended up meeting Ben Soul, and I told Ben Soul, yo man, I need a bounce back. I'm stuck. My artist is good. I think she can give you the creatives. But me as a manager, I'm stuck. You know, like I don't know where next we need to
go. If there was ever a bounce back, it's Soul Generation who can do it.
Exactly.
They're very talented.
Very talented. So Ben Soul was able to give us the Sour song, which came back and bounced back, and it, you know, a lot of females embraced it, and it was their song for whenever the breakup takes place and stuff.
I mean, shout out to like I said, putting Kenya on the map.
Exactly.
You know, via Kenyans with Kenyan artists, Kenyan songwriters, Kenyan producers. It's incredible.
It was really a process, and from there, you know, I mean, she was able to get all this. We were able to put all these endorsements together. You know, she took some time off again because you know that process always keeps going off and on. I don't know about
the journey is the destination. I'm not sure about that.
Like I don't know. Like you gotta help me understand. Like
breakups vary.
To move on, you could move on
in levels. I can't speak for that specific example, but for myself, I know the longest time I've ever taken to get over someone properly was probably around 3 years, and that's because I'm definitely one of those people that like love hard. But that's the thing about life. Before it makes you happy, it'll make you strong. So that's the advice I'd give to anybody who's going through a breakup that's not shedding as immediately as people would like you to. Don't rush the process. The journey is the destination.
Exactly.
The journey is the destination.
You know, so for me, like I learned a lot through observing, and she took a break. She went to Coast. I mean, she stayed there for 2 months, came back.
Well, how did you take a break though?
I never took a break because, you know,
how did you bounce back from all that pressure?
I'm the business guy. So for me, during that process as well, let me tell you what I was battling.
Yes,
during that process where
your own personal battle.
Yeah, when she has gone to Coast to take this break, my lady has lost her job, or she has quit her job because, you know, the employees over there were very, very, very abusive. You know,
so it was a hostile working environment for her. I've been in one of those, and I can't do it.
To work in that company.
I personally cannot do it.
It's a snack company. I won't mention it, but you know, the boss was very, very rude to people. You know this, and it's we
call them entitlements.
I don't want to judge all Indians, but Indians like micromanaging. If you've ever worked with Indians, especially Indians. So like
I cannot speak for that.
You can't speak for that, but she was working for an Indian, you know, manufacturing company, snack company, and you know the guy was just very, very rude to the workers, rude to everyone, and he used to curse out people. So she just left one office whereby she was being treated like a boss to go to this office whereby she's being treated like a junior, and her position is a boss level management position, and she's been cast out every day, and she's like, yo, why do people even work here? You know what I mean?
I can't speak for the ethnic example you've given, but I do know like bad people are just bad people despite race, despite pigmentation. So with that said, I have been through those instances, as I gave earlier on, of bad business ventures, and even an attachment I did that was so overwhelming and underwhelming at the same time. I'm like, I cannot do this because I just genuinely can't. I'm not speaking from a point of privilege. Thank God I still live at home with like my grandma and my sister, and I don't have to worry about things like rent necessarily for now. But I do know if I did and I had to keep working in that kind of environment, I would have lost a lot of parts of myself.
So true.
And I would have been programmed to just survive and not live. Survive and not thrive. Yeah,
that's real.
Survive and not thrive.
Survive and not thrive.
Any other wins that you've had aside from the successful EP launch?
So, see, my lady is out of work, and I'm the only provider now in the crib, so I have to step up, you know, to the plate and do my thing as a man. And I did my thing very well until she got her job, another job recently in August. Okay. So during that process, you can understand. Okay, Tanasha is on a break, and economically we're not moving because she has to take this break.
Okay.
And she is my person when it comes to economics in the business, because I'm looking out for her business interest. So
when you were her manager?
This is when I was still her manager, still during the process.
Okay.
But you know, if she stops working, work gotta stop. that means you gotta look for alternatives to be able to survive.
Yes, hence why I mentioned my example. Of the side hustling.
For me, I'm a hustler, so I always bounce back and I figured out different ways on how to hustle. But at the end of the day, I can honestly say that it was a very, very tough time for me. With all honesty, it wasn't easy
because you were taking on the pressure of taking care of
taking care of not only my immediate family, my extended family,
which were your influencers, your artists,
which is not even the influencers. It's my nephew who now they're caught up in a COVID situation. Their father and mother can't go to work. They need dinner. So I'm the go-to person. Like, we see you working international, you must be having money. Can you send us 500 shillings today? Like everybody's reaching out because
they think it's a glamorized process behind all this, but it takes a lot of money.
It takes a lot of money to create all that, glow. So
that's true.
I'm trying to explain to people that I'm not cash flow heavy, but I can do what I can do
when I can do it.
And I thank God during all this process, nilikuwa najinyima, but I'm still giving, because at the end of the day, I ask myself, in this world, what did you come to do as a person? Did you come here to make the world better, or did you come here to make the world worse? And
even when you leave people's lives, do you want to leave it better than you found it, or worse than you found it as well?
I like impacting people on different levels. If it's financially, I impacted you, and that's how you're.
You've been the plug for a while.
Remember me that way?
You've been putting people on for quite some time.
God's gracious. So I just like seeing people becoming their better version of themselves rather than what they do have currently going, because I feel like there's always an opportunity for us. If all these people if Nigerians are taking it to the global standards, why is Kenya still stuck? Have you ever asked yourself that question? Why are we still stuck if we can take it to the global? Well, the reason why we're still stuck is because we hate on each other more than we support one another. That's the problem.
That's the thing about the competitive industry. We'll work faster and better together, collaborations together. We can't really afford to be pinning each other against
down and
one-upping each other.
Exactly.
Like the industry is so fickle and fragile right now. We need to be the backbone and the foundation.
And that's why I took time to help all those people that I've helped throughout my career. Because at the end of the day I was thinking we need to set up an industry whereby people can come and find a culture of wanting to hold each other's arm.
Yeah, hold each other's hands and be like, I got you, I got you.
Nigerians do that every day. They do that every day. Why don't we do that? But we are busy hating on one another. We are busy hating on our brothers and sisters across the border. And we can easily just say, listen, we keep Kenya keeps a lot of artists rich. Because we are consumers. We are a consuming economy. So all Nigerians usually know one thing. You haven't made it in Africa until Kenyans accept you. Tanzanians know one thing. You haven't made it in Africa until Kenyans accept you. Josie people know one thing. You haven't made it in Africa until Kenyans accept you. We're the biggest digital consumers. From Ghana, it's us.
Oh yeah?
Tech savvy.
Learn something new every day.
You know what I'm saying? From Ghana, it's us. We are tech savvy. So all those views that you see Diamond gets, it's from here.
Okay.
All those views you see Wizkid get, Davido gets, it's from here.
Oh, I see.
But how come if he's knocking 10 million viewers in 3 days from his platform, why is a big global star like Otile or Octopizzo or Calligraph, why are they not knocking 10 million on that level?
And they're just as talented.
It's a Kenyan mentality. We gotta kill it. We gotta pray. Like Kenyans, to be honest, can we just accept when we move to 2021, guys, just don't move with this hating notion? It has been tight on everyone now. At least now it's
cancel
evenly
culture.
Distributed. It's evenly distributed. We are supposed to be mad at our leaders. But why are you mad at your youth who's trying to put food on his family's table?
That's true.
Why are you mad at him?
Maximizing what they can.
What he can do best.
Kenyans DIY the best. Yeah. We improvise.
If you tear him down, and this is what people was expecting from me. When me and Tanasha went, different routes.
Yes.
People wanted me to talk ill about her because that's what Kenyans always expect.
And that's what they sell. That's what they consume. From blogger points of views to Instagram drama. Yeah, that's true.
I was getting calls from Tanzania, Uganda. I'm telling you.
The psychology behind
Nigerians just want to know what's the real juice here.
Well, I mean, she was on the spotlight for quite some time, so you can obviously imagine how bloggers, YouTubers, all the extended media would jump at an opportunity to know the lowdown of what really happened.
And for me, I will never ever, don't expect me to be that person. I will never, like, if I was to talk ill about people, I'd look like I'm a crazy person. I'd look like I'm a bitter person.
It's a poor reflection of yourself most of the time.
I'm not a bitter person. We are falling off with so many influencers, but at the end of the day, I never went to the social media. And and I respect.
That's what I was gonna say. Social media is the worst place to vent in, because the internet never forgets. It's such a poor reflection. When I used to do it, when I look back at it, when you get those little archive pop-ups from 2017, I was like, I just want to dig my head in a hole. And I'm like, did I really say this rubbish?
Exactly.
So it's just a poor reflection of all the inner conflicts I need to work on with myself, because how you treat people is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. And speaking of reflections, what are some of the things that you've overcome as Castro, and what are the things that you still have to work on, since everyone is a work in progress?
I feel like the greatest thing throughout my journey working with the influencers and stopping managing, because I stopped managing everyone. Like, I stopped completely. Like, I don't want to do any more.
The journey is ended.
It's over for me. It's over.
The book is
the route
book
that
is
I
done.
want to take. I just want to.
Or maybe you'll write a book one day.
A book is coming out for sure.
Oh yeah.
You better know that.
And a Kenyan, especially Kenyan edition.
The good thing, we have documented all these things.
It has to be customized.
So it's gonna be a very
to our market.
Book. Actually, I'm in talks with some writers from California, so we're planning to put a very good book that will help educate influencers, but at the same time they learn from different mistakes that I did and other influencers did.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's key.
So for me, I feel like the biggest change is what I'm working towards, and what my goal is my communication. Because I feel like I'm still not good at communicating the way I'm supposed to be communicating, because of the fact that it's been a process just trying to adjust how to be a good communicator throughout my life.
Yes, it's actually a skill that you keep learning. It's not something you're born with per se. It's made, it's created.
So I'm like kind of caught up between the personalities. I'm caught up between a choleric person and sanguine, the personality traits of people. So I'm caught up there, and because for me the mistake that comes with me is if I focus on something, I'm laser focused. So I might ignore
a fixed lens.
I might ignore the fact, or miss to be sensitive for the fact that I wasn't able to communicate that we are supposed to meet at a certain time, and I didn't show up. That time I'm in a meeting with somebody, and we're discussing, and my mind is just there, and they're calling, and I can't even see my phone. And then when I pick it up, they're just mad. Yo, you can't call me. Yo, I'm a celebrity, bro. You can't keep me here waiting. And I'm thinking, man, it's my mistake.
The celebrity complex here kills me. We need to work on that, by the way.
It happens.
Yeah, the Nairobi celebrity complex, even with small scale artists, I see people who have grown up with, people will still treat you like they don't know you unless you can do something for them or put them on. And I'm like, wow, what about the friendship aspect? What about all the other intimate things that made us friends before you became that B? I see that a lot, and I hope we can all grow past these versions of ourselves, because I've been there too. There's sometimes I have those little ego moments, but I just gotta check myself. It's important to check yourself, because you can be the toxic person in a situation, but the key is toxic people who are willing to do the work to overcome that toxicity.
And the thing is, sometimes you gotta learn how to swallow your pride and just accept a mistake is a mistake. Despite what
ego death,
despite the consequences. It has costed me. It has costed me good partners because of poor communication. It has costed me
my ego is also
good relationships.
Likewise, I lost a lot of people as well
because of poor communication. So it's something that I'm working. I'm not perfect being. I'm perfect in other things, but I'm not perfect 100% holy. So the good thing in life is just to stick with people who can tolerate you to a certain level.
But who can evolve with you.
Who can train you and teach you and tough love you to be able to change this trait that is really bothering. You know what I mean?
And so I showed you a video earlier. One of the first ways to even overcome addictions is to spot and isolate what exactly you want to change. If it's quitting a cigarette and you have one after every day, what are some of the things that you can use to subside those cravings and stuff like that? So I think the same can apply with toxic traits of yourself. You need to pinpoint something you don't like about yourself and what you're willing to do to overcome it, to reform it. Yeah.
So for like for me is the journey has been really dope. I've embraced the process. I won't stop embracing the process, and I'm not gonna cheat it. If it's gonna come,
there are no detours. There are no detours. Yeah,
you can't cheat success. Success, you have to embrace the whole process, how it comes and how it goes.
So true. And like I said, living in the now, being present in the present. Everything is coming to you as it should. Everything is happening for you.
For you.
It's not happening to you. It's actually happening for you. Even when it looks like an adversity, it's here to teach. It's not here to take. It's here to teach. So that's also, I can agree with that theme of yours.
Exactly. Also, another big thing was, for me, it was now starting, just launching Established African with you and the team.
It's been a big milestone.
It was a great milestone. Really tough, for me personally, especially I had to go on a very tight budget so that I can be able to execute this platform, so that we can be able to teach our youth and train them and sell this mindset that we want people to have moving towards 2021.
He birthed it into life. Kudos to you, Castro.
I mean, God's grace at the end of the day. Look at that.
Absolutely.
So, it wasn't easy. While we were starting out, we came through certain challenges, In
the beginning, it was...
Oh, my God.
And I don't even have any training.
About that, or I just...
You can talk about it. I'm just sip my water.
So, here's the thing. We were previously supposed to work with a different studio. I'm not gonna name them because at the end of the day, I believe karma will suit them the way it's supposed to come. But they really messed us up. They wasted our time. They gave us a shady crew. They gave us interns to be able to execute something of value like this. And we had multiple meetings back and forth. The amount of energy that I spent going there, because it's not a studio that's close to the CBD. It's a studio that's really far. And you have to travel there all the time, and just make sure that everything is set. But it didn't work out. It never worked out how we wanted. We were given poor quality services, and we said, you know what, we're just gonna excuse ourselves out of this situation. But through God's grace, look at how God works. One of the person who was brought on our last episode that we did on that studio was able to introduce us,
to link us to this opportunity
behind this camera, which will be showing them.
Shout out Shutter Film.
Shutter Film.
Yes. Shout out.
Film Foundation is one of the best production crews you'll ever work with. Like, I've never met young, vibrant people like this my whole life. Like,
professionalism is on point, and
in production,
Ikigai as well. The ambience is just set. Everything is perfect. So like I said, adversities happened for us, even with the bumpy road that led us to where we are right now. Because I know if it didn't happen the way it did, we might not even be here right now. We might still be negotiating things that shouldn't need to be negotiated in a professional setting. But we still give thanks to everybody who has been part of the process, good or bad. We give thanks.
And we give thanks, we embrace it. The pain that comes with it, the success that will come with this, despite what we are seeing.
Teaching moments for everybody, for us, for them, for everybody.
For everyone, we just want everybody to be happy. So
Established African was
just launching was a big success for me, and I feel like I gave other managers out there who are working with creatives a fallback plan whenever they need to stop managing creatives, because it's a whole lot of work. Actually, I feel for managers. Managers call me, like a lot of artists. I don't even like talking to the artist. I talk to a lot of artist managers just to find out where their artists are in their headspace. What exactly are they planning to do? What do they want to do? So for me personally, I feel for a lot of managers, man. They go through a lot of mental health issues. Creatives don't make it easy for them.
Because they also go through their own mental health struggles.
You know what I mean? So they call me. Whenever they call me, it's just call on advice. They feel like, we need to do something. If they need to be plugged in by people, I plug them. For me...
You've always been the plug. I keep saying.
I'm not a selfish guy. Because the thing is, I'm trying to see, why shouldn't I introduce... I don't understand people who don't like introducing people.
Yeah, sending the elevator of success back down. I completely agree. I've never understood that either.
Why is it so
I've never
hard
understood that
you
mentality.
To introduce one person to,
that's what I'm saying. Inner conflicts, Banner. Inner conflicts.
You know, you're not drafting a proposal for them. They're not telling you to make sure that gig comes through. What they're telling you is just give me the number, bro. That's the best. That's the least effort you can do to help someone elevate. And if they become successful off that plug, you know, good karma always comes back. You know,
absolutely.
We gotta help each other out.
Absolutely.
To build this industry.
Yeah.
So Established African, you know, just laid out. You know, I'm also another. You know, I'm just proud that the fact that I've been able to, you know, get one of the best advices this year when it comes to finances. You know what I mean? I was able to...
Yeah, let's normalize getting mentors. Yeah. Mentors are super important.
I was able to downsize quickly before a lot of people learned that this thing is going to be here for a minute.
Yeah.
So for me...
So this is not the time to be recklessly spending.
Yeah, it's not the time to ball, actually, you know. Yeah. Right now, everybody's on a budget. Usidanganywe na mtu, unatijua amepigwa picha na what kind of car.
Listen, may not even be their car.
Yo, don't get vexed that people are buying their shorties, especially young people. That they're buying their shorties vehicles and doing for them all these shoppings and they're traveling where, yo, listen, whatever they're doing, somebody put a budget there, and most likely high chance is not them. And so don't stress
success
yourself.
Looks different for everybody. Everybody has their different moments.
Don't stress yourself over nothing. You know what I mean?
Everybody's got their levels, so we can't all be successful at the same time. It's quite literally impossible.
It's been a tight
all
year.
A part of your story. Yeah.
Don't stress. It's been a tight year, so just work towards yourself. Make yourself a better person than what you have been before, and take the lessons of your life. You know, every scenario in your life, every negative experience in your life, you should take it like, yo, there's something that God is trying to teach you. I'm a very spiritual person, so I always think spiritually. Like, I'll even tell like my lady, like, you know, we are being tested. You know, whenever we fight, whenever these fights are coming, this is God's test, just to see how far.
Lessons that are not learnt will just keep coming back.
Exactly.
Coming back. Like questions in an exam. If you get it wrong, keep coming back.
Exactly.
Keep coming back.
So it's a lesson, and you gotta like learn how to readjust. Learn how to listen more than talk more. You know, that's something that I want to see a lot of youth do coming next year. Kindly stop thinking impulse on impulse. Think before you react. You know what I mean? Think, if I do this, what will be the consequentials that will come after this action? Will it benefit me, or will it make me look back? Because, you know, a lot of you young people right now are not thinking. Whatever you're posting right now on social media, or whatever you're doing to affect somebody else's hustle, you're not thinking that 10 years from now or 20 years from now, God will let you live. You look back at those things, and those are the things you'll be regretting. You'll be thinking, man, why did I do that?
But I think also
I was so stupid. Why did I do that?
And I think also it's just a learning curve for people, because mistakes are such a huge and important element of learning. So what I would even suggest is, you know, you are free to make the choice, but you're not free from the consequences of your choices.
Exactly.
So you always have to think ahead.
You always have to think ahead.
And also just invest in yourself as a human being, as a good human being in general. Because even when we pass on, nobody's going to talk about the cars we had, or the hair we had, or the nails we had, or all of this materialistic, tangible stuff. They're going to talk about who you were, your core being. So that's what really matters at the end of the day.
That's what really matters at all, you know?
I will teach the youth that's one thing I'll pass down to anybody, younger, older, anybody who is a human being with a thought process. It's like, focus on being a good individual. That is the ultimate goal in life. Everything else is it's rubbish. You know, it's absolute rubbish. Ashton Kutcher once said that.
That's a goal, actually.
Yeah, and that's a goal we can all get to.
That's a goal we can get to.
It's achievable. You know? Like young, old, rich, poor. Exactly. Anybody can be a good person.
Exactly. So for me, it's like, you know, let's embrace maturity as well in all sectors of life. You know, like, don't just think that maturity is the number that's added into your life. Like, today I'm 21, so I'm maturing to 22.
It does not work like that.
It doesn't work like that. You gotta mature in all sectors of life, and it starts from within You know, you just accepting the fact that you can't do things that you used to do as a baby anymore. You can't reason out as a child like you used to think.
It's the small things, actually. Like, that's why life will test you with, like you said, fights with a partner, disagreements at work,
Exactly.
you know, challenges that you didn't foresee. This is life testing. So what have you learned? So what have you learned?
What have you learned? And you see, that's the thing that I'm always trying to tell people. Because, you know, people are like, yo, you know, this person is saying this about you, this person is saying this about you.
Oh, the broken telephone.
For me, I'm looking at it like, yo, I gave you a career. Do you think I can talk bad about that? That's part of my history.
Despite your legacy.
Despite how you're going to hate me for life moving forward. You know what I mean? That's my history. Do you think I want to keep tainting my history bad?
I mean, sometimes people have problems with you because they have problems with themselves. You know, like
I really
do see
most of the time.
Yeah, and not to even say it from like a superiority point of view. Because I remember when I had conflicts with people, and then I look back at it, certain people, I'll be like, wow, that was all me actually.
It was all you.
It was all me. They had nothing to actually do with what I was going through.
Whenever you're in a conflict with any person, first of all, look at yourself
as well
before you,
because they are a mirror reflection
and says things that you'll end up regretting,
because you are the first victim of your own anger. And what you're saying it to and who you're saying it to is a mirror reflection of yourself. So for me, it's like, you know, we gotta, like, even in workspaces, in businesses, we gotta mature wisely. You cannot just listen. This is a message to all influencers, man, and I'm gonna say this with all my heart and soul. Even to me,
like even to you, you better listen to this.
Better listen.
Like, here's the thing, guys. I'll respect you the way you carry yourself and the way you respect me back. If I get you a gig, I expect you to respect the fact that I took the time out of my life to go get you bread. And that bread is not coming to you solo, it's coming to a lot of people under it. So if you disrespect committing and playing your part in the process of this bread that we have just gotten together, you're disrespecting not only me, but the client and the people who were expecting you to deliver, so that we can all be able to eat. So I'm really gonna insist this again. Influencers, kindly, if you're ever gonna be called upon by any agency or any person tu uko nje tu akupigie simu out of respect, amekupigia kuambia nitakupatia pesa, acha kupigia amekwambia nataka kupatia hell, ama nakuja kufungia nyumba, ama nakuja kunyang'anya gari, kurepossess. He hasn't called you to tell you that. He's telling you, I want to see you do better than what you're doing right now. Think in your mind when you're called for a meeting and you don't show up. Think in your mind when you're told to post a social media post for a client and you don't do it. Think through it and ask yourself, if this person right now, we fall out and they decided to go and bash me, how will I look like? I look like a very disrespectful person. I look like a person who doesn't care about people. Like I look like a person who doesn't, you know. So I went through that.
So humility is also an attribute of intelligent people.
And I'm still going through that. You know why? Because a lot of contracts were never finalized. But I'm getting calls from clients. And they're telling me, this influencer did this to me. This influencer did this to us. We're going to kill this industry.
And the manager is always going to be responsible for the actions of his
an industry or an outlet that we used and we hustled.
And we fought for
this situation so that you earn on the talents that you are God given. Remember,
uncensored, unfiltered. The platforms are here now.
Kindly remember, before the digital era, there's a watchman somewhere or a soldier somewhere who chose to took that route, and they really wanted to become a comedian. They really wanted probably to become the next big, model in the market. They knew probably they had the potential, but these
they
things
didn't
were
have
not
the
there.
Opportunities.
They didn't have
the tools. The tools we have today.
The biggest thing that I've noticed is people have become more disrespectful because money is easy to get in this era, because we're in a digital era. So somebody's feeling like if you bring them a job, if they don't deliver and disrespect you, they still feel like they'll get other jobs. Let me tell you one thing,
that's the worst thing you can do, disrespect money.
Opportunities, they only show up once. And when they leave for life. I know influencers right now who are crying they cannot pay their rent, who have stopped working.
Because it spread like wildfire.
They got blacklisted because of the way they performed in the industry.
And their performance is a reflection of who they are in their core. Because anyone good wouldn't disrespect your time intentionally.
I sit down with clients, man. I've sat down with a client crying. She's telling me, yo, I'm about to get fired because this certain influencer didn't show up to my event and didn't do this and that. Actually, I'm going to bring a lot of people on the next season too to address the pitfalls and all the agony that creatives took them through when they gave them opportunities. I know people who have gotten million shilling contracts, not even million, multi-million shilling contracts, and they didn't deliver. And there's somebody somewhere hurting, an influencer or a struggling artist who's hurting for that opportunity.
And who would maximize it even more.
Multiple clients because of influencers. Just people couldn't deliver.
Influencers, we don't know how to act these days.
People don't know how to act and package themselves, and people still feel
But this is where training would come in. This is where your book and this content would be very helpful to people who are rookie and don't know any better.
Exactly. Don't put an ego.
Oh yes.
When you make a mistake.
Yeah, that is very true.
That's being foolish.
It's very counterproductive.
It's so foolish of you putting an ego in front of the, just to put a front so that you can be able to save your face. Come on, man. If you mess up, you mess up.
Yeah.
Just accept it and say, I'm sorry. I'm willing to change. Is there something I can do, to make this better? Respect. Let's be respectful of people, especially people who give you money. They only come once and they disappear. Be respectful of people who bring for you money. Me personally, ever since I started this podcast with you, I'm supposed to be entitled to people who have given careers, but I'm not going to be entitled. You know why? Because I choose peace. You know why?
And alignment. They'll come to you if they want to.
Exactly. And once we're successful, they'll come to this platform and they will share the same platform.
Yeah.
So support or not support.
It's an open and safe space.
Sharing my post or my content or not sharing, because you can see
still good.
Content.
It's still good.
It's still good.
We're all good.
Either way, one way will cross paths. And I won't have the heart.
The industry is not that big, so
I won't have the heart that you had. I'm gonna open, my arms and welcome you. Come sit here with us.
Absolutely.
And let's talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're only falling forward, man.
Exactly.
We're only falling forward.
So let's embrace the people, especially the people who work for this, because there's a lot of people who I know who have taken jobs to influencers. Some have ripped them off. They don't want to pay them. You know what I mean? And you're paying
it's also the receiving
10%, bro.
you're
it's
making not just influencers,
and you're giving this guy 10,000.
Yeah, there are companies.
How is it hurting you to do that?
There are companies who don't pay as well. Influencers can do their jobs and they're still not paid.
Exactly.
They can post the content and they're still ripped off.
Especially for those companies who don't do that.
It's a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's be mindful. Me, I want to talk up to my influencers more, because corporates will always be there, despite businesses will always be there to endorse and work with influencers.
Absolutely.
But influencers industry can be wiped out because of how we carry ourselves and how
tough feedback, but important.
Discipline themselves.
Yeah, self-discipline is a form of self-love.
Exactly.
Self-discipline is a form of self-love.
Self-discipline is a
form of self-love. Absolutely.
Did I say more? Do I have to say more after that?
Any final comments to wrap this up?
Yes, I think my final comments will lay down on, I don't like touching this topic, but I'll have to touch it. Politics run our economics. Our economics fully depend on politics. You know why? These laws, the business laws that are created, they're created by politicians. Most of these people that we have voted in are not okay mentally, first and foremost. There's a lot of mental health problems with our leaders. Somebody who can go and steal money and equipments that save our doctors and steal money to secure and keep Kenyans safe. That's not a normal person. That's a mentally sick person.
Yeah.
We have a lot of mental sick people in our country, especially our leaders. Most of them are not okay. And that's why the youth are really struggling right now.
Yeah.
So I want to keep it very clear. Kindly, let's be us as the young people, because we're the ones who empower these people. Let's be very smart with what we're being proposed by these people to be able to save our future. Our children right now don't have a future in this country. The country right now is on standstill. Our economy is on ICU. I'm going to use the words of the economist.
Medical terms
David
of ICU.
He said our economics right now as a country, we're in ICU. This regime of politicians who are there, they took so much loans, and those loans are nowhere to be seen to build our infrastructures, to build hospitals, to pay our... Right now, our medics are on strike. This is a festive season.
And people it's during a pandemic.
People get hurt a lot during a festive season.
Oh, that's true. December.
And also, it's a pandemic. So they're on strike because they're not being taken care of.
Absolutely.
Second, and doctors are dying because of corona, because of
they're on the front lines.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
Second, Kenyans don't have access to masks still. They don't have access to good medical care. Yeah. We need to do right for our country. Young people, kindly, let's step up. Hizi strategies zote tunapewa saa hii, tunaambiwa this is the solution to make you rich. Where were those strategies 7 years ago when we voted in this regime? They were nowhere. So it's a time to tell these guys bye-bye. Let's unite. Let's look for the leaders who have actually been tarnished and pulled down. People who have performed. Let's select leaders who have a good performance track and not controversial figures. People who you know very well. Ujamani Jambazi. You yourself, you know you're voting in a criminal. What do you expect the results to be? This guy is going to rob your future, rob your family's future and your kids' future completely. Let's be very wise. Kindly. Our businesses right now are on crutches because of our poor decisions on selecting poor leaders. And that's why Uganda stand up. Nigeria stand up. Countries right now all over America stood up. They said, hell no, we're not gonna stand this racist
and police brutality.
We're not gonna stand this racist.
And shout out to a lot of Kenyans who also stood up for police brutality here.
You know what I mean?
Right here, in your own country as well.
Exactly. We need to stand firm. Don't sign in something that, especially from a regime that hasn't delivered. Kindly, Wakenya, let's be smart, let's be woke, and let's stay mental healthy during this process of Christmas.
Yeah.
Don't overfeed. It's bad according to religion to overfeed.
Yadi, you told me I can overfeed. Now you're saying
I told you can eat as much as possible, but I didn't say you should overfeed. Overfeeding is it's bad. You know what I mean? It's not even healthy. You know, what's the reason of you
too much of anything is
too
not
much
healthy.
Eating and you can't even walk.
Well, I must still eat.
Or
but
go help Shokari. You know, let's go visit our grandparents.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's mask on even once we're in shags. You know, let's go talk to them. These people are dying. We're gonna lose them all. And these people are dying with so much wisdom.
Absolutely.
So go attain that wisdom. December is a very good month because it's a month of reflection. You go back to your elders,
new beginnings,
and you learn a thing or two about what you're not doing right as a person right now. Me personally, I want to go learn from my grandmother's model of communication. I want to learn how she used to communicate to my late grandfather. I want to learn how my grandfather and my grandmother who have been married for the last 60 years, how they were able to keep it together and tight. Those are the things that I'm looking forward to. Also, another win I never spoke on. Man, shout out to my dad. Everybody who donated to me. Yes. You know, I mean, I'm really grateful. Awesome. This is a thank you note to you. When I put it out, a lot of people came through.
Absolutely.
Strangers. People who I never even expected.
Community coming through.
They came through for me. And I really want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You guys really was able to stabilize my life. If it wasn't for you, I'd be broke right now. Established African wouldn't be here. But you were able to balance my life, and I really thank you, and may God bless you for those who donated to have more to be able to donate to others, and I'll keep doing the same.
Absolutely.
And I believe I got fortunate because I've been giving back a lot, you know what I mean? So I think this was just good karma that came to me, and my father came out of the hospital alive, COVID free, you know, warrior, even though he was amputated. You know, this guy is just telling me, yo, I'm 69, man. I can't wait to turn 89. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's just able differently now.
Kind of attitude.
Yeah, he's just able differently now and still a warrior nonetheless.
Exactly. So that's my go-to person whenever I need to, you know, spiritual solid foundation, and I need to uplift my self-esteem. So, appreciate your parents while they're here. This generation is not. Your parents be talking to you kwa simu tu kwa Instagram tu unaangalia tu girls.
It really be like that.
Unaangalia tu yani homies flaunting their, their hairs and things. Skizeni wazazi, man. These people won't be here for life, man. Listen, if your mom is talking to you, especially during this festive season and 2021 goals, put your phone down at least. If I'm talking to you and I'm your husband, put your wife, put your phone down. Listen, talk, try and solve things amicably.
Be present.
Let's not be so rigid and be ready to leave each other so quickly and not realizing what we've been able to do together.
Well, thank you so much, Castro, for those wise words of wisdom. I've personally learnt a lot. My line of work is definitely very, very connected to influencing and digital marketing. That's what I love about Established African. It's a space where we can grow, we can dialogue, and we can chime in as a fitting finale to 2020. Speaking of fitting finales, I would definitely love you guys to know more about my wellness journey and the pages that have helped me grow and develop these tools that I've had throughout 2020. They're all going to be linked down at the end of the video. They're all Instagram pages, so stay tuned for that good stuff. And with that said, guys, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! Hey.